Hello everyone, I am Pratap here. Today is the 9th September 2025. In this video, I am going to generate different supply demand zone reports useful to the premium subscribers. And also please note we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action. All the training lessons are already available at our NeoStock YouTube channel. So to access the training lessons at our channel homepage, click on the tab post. You get access to this post. Some of you may see community tab. Then also click on the community tab. Then same post you will be getting. And this post is having a YouTube playlist link that is having all the training lessons. You just click on the link. Here you have all the training lessons are available up to lesson 30. You just scroll down to the bottom of the page. Here starting from lesson 1.1, all the training lessons are placed in an order. So please go through all these lessons one by one, but according to my training instructions. I provided all the training instructions at our Telegram channel. You can find the link to our Telegram channel in this video description. So join at our Telegram channel. In the old messages or previous messages or even in the pinned messages, you can find the training instructions. If you can learn the course according to those training instructions, it will be helpful to you to become a very good independent trader. Please make use of this opportunity. Okay, now I am generating different supply demand zone reports with the help of NeoStock Software's supply demand zone top-down analysis strategy builder. First, I am generating daily and 75 minutes stocks near demand and supply zones so that we can identify high priority, high liquidity zones. So that we can use those zones for the HLQ zone, high liquidity zone strategy that you learned in lesson 21.3 video. Okay, daily time frame, stocks near to the daily demand zone. We got 14 stocks. Let us identify daily high liquidity demand zones from this list. HFCL is having a daily high liquidity demand zone. That's it. We got only one daily high liquidity demand zone from this list. Next, for daily time frame, stocks near to the daily supply zone, we got 10 stocks. Let us identify daily high liquidity supply zones from this list. HCL Technologies is having a daily high liquidity supply zone. Next, IREDA is having a daily high liquidity supply zone. It is also having a daily high liquidity demand zone. That means price is moving in between these two zones. Until one of these zones are violated, you can plan trades either in the demand zone as well as supply zone. Either side you get the trade opportunities. So please make use of them, even though the stock is near daily supply zone. And next, Tata Motors is having a daily high liquidity supply zone, and also it is having a daily high liquidity demand zone, but the distance is nearly 4%. So maybe you can plan trades in daily high liquidity supply zone. Even though it gets trade opportunities, but the distance is huge. So you can't expect trade from the demand zone unless price is dropped down by 4%. You may not be getting trade opportunities in the demand zone. But otherwise, we identified 3 daily high liquidity supply zones from this list. Okay, next time frame is 75 minutes. Stocks near to the 75 minutes demand zone. We got 7 stocks. Let us identify 75 minutes high liquidity demand zones. Bank of India is having a 75 minutes high liquidity demand zone. That's it. We got only one 75 minutes high liquidity demand zone from this list. Okay, next, for 75 minutes time frame, stocks near to the 75 minute supply zone, we got 8 stocks. Let us identify 75 minutes high liquidity supply zones from this list. TI India is having a daily 75 minutes high liquidity supply zone. That's it. We got only 175 minutes high liquidity supply zone from this list. So this is about high liquidity zone identification from daily and 75 minutes time frame. So you can use those high liquidity zones for the HLQ zone strategy. You learned in lesson 21.3 video. Okay, next I will generate Nifty and Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain reports. Starting with Nifty, generating monthly supply demand zone chain for Nifty. This is Nifty monthly supply demand zone chain report. In any supply demand zone chain report, always look into the zone column to find the high liquidity zones. Look into the pierced column to find the pierced zones. Also look into the LTF trend to find the trend of the current time frame you have selected. And one time frame higher is ITF and one more time frame higher is HTF. You already learned those points. And also don't forget to pause the video when you are moving from one report to another report, because I am giving you very few seconds time to watch the report. Once you study, you can proceed further. Okay, next, generating a weekly supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, generating a daily supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, generating 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, generating 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, generating 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, generating 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. The nearest demand zone to the current closing price is serial number 18. I'll put it in the middle of the page. Okay. Next time frame is a 5 minutes supply demand zone chain report. The nearest demand zone to the current closing price is serial number 31. I will put it in the middle of the page so that we can access equal number of demand and supply zones. So this is Nifty supply demand zone chain report. Next I will generate Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. I am going back, changing the name to Nifty Bank. That is nothing but Bank Nifty. Generating monthly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating a weekly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating a daily supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. And the nearest demand zone to the current closing price, serial number 25. I'll put it in the middle of the page. So this is Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain report. We have completed both Nifty and Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain reports. Next, I will generate sideways bullish and bearish trade setups for monthly, weekly and daily income trades. Starting with monthly income trade, entry time frame daily, entry zone demand zone. Here bullish or bearish or sideways. At entry time frame daily, I am selecting sideways long. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score should be 11 for sideways. We got 6 stocks. And entry time frame zones are daily demand zones. And pierced zones, use it only for pierced zone strategy, not for sideways trade setup. And also all the 6 out of 6, 5 stocks, yeah. All the 5 stocks supporting sideways trade setup should be used only if they are satisfying lesson 30.3 checklist items. Otherwise, higher chances of zone violation. Okay, next sideways short trade setup, entry time frame zone, daily supply zone. Here sideways short. We don't have any stocks. Next bullish trade setup for monthly income trade, entry time frame zone, daily demand zone, bullish, and minimum odd enhancer score should be 12. We got 19 stocks. First 18 stocks supporting monthly income trade, bullish trade setup. And entry time frame zones are daily demand zones. And pierced zones you can't use directly for bullish. They should be used only for pierced zone strategies that you learned in lesson 28. So first 18 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 19 stocks are filtered. Out of these 19, high probability trade setup daily demand zones, let us filter based on different zone confluence and EMA confluence strategies that you learned in lesson 27. So on these 19 stocks, I am applying one more filter. So I am going back in the demand zone confluence, enabling daily and weekly demand zone confluence. This is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. So 15 stocks are filtered. All these daily demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zones. And weekly trend, that is ITF trend, is uptrend in all the stocks. So we can further filter based on weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. Because weekly trend is uptrend and daily demand zone is overlapped inside the weekly demand zone. So 8 stocks are filtered. So these 8 daily demand zones might be having more high probability to get success, provided lesson 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, higher chances of zone violation. And the 2 zones are pierced zones. They should be used only for pierced zone strategies. Learned in lesson 27. Remaining 6 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup. High probability trade setup zones based on lesson 20 checklist items are satisfied. That is very, very important. Okay, next strategy is LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence. Thereafter HTF EMA confluence. Let us filter those stocks. So I am going back, removing ITF EMA filter. Demand zone confluence, 3 filters I have to set. First one is daily and weekly, already enabled. Next, daily and monthly, weekly and monthly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 3 stocks. In all the 3 stocks, all these daily demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zone. Both together again overlapped with monthly demand zone, but this is pierced zone. Let's check out of these three how many monthly demand zones are having monthly EMA confluence, because monthly trend is uptrend. So EMA confluence at monthly, I'm checking monthly demand zone with monthly EMA confluence. Only one stock is filtered. So this daily demand zone might be having more high probability to get success, provide less than 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, higher chances of this zone violation. Okay, this is bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame daily, entry zone, supply zone. You are bullish or bearish at daily. I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated, opposing zone. Minimum odd and enhancer score 12. And we got 5 stocks supporting bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. And entry time frame zones are daily supply zones. So total we got 5 daily supply zones. Out of these 5 high probability trade setups based on LTF and ITF supply zone confluence and then ITF EMA confluence, let us filter. So in the supply zone confluence, I am applying the filter daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence for those 5 stocks. All 5 are filtered. That means all 5 daily supply zones overlapped with weekly supply zone. And weekly trend is a downtrend in all the stocks. So let's further filter based on weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. So 2 stocks are filtered. So these 2 daily supply zones might be having more high probability to get success, provide less than 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, there are higher chances of zone violation. Okay, next let us look into LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence supported stocks. Removing ITF EMA filter, supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First one, daily and weekly supply zone already enabled. Daily and monthly supply zone confluence, weekly and monthly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 3 stocks. In these 3 stocks, these daily supply zones overlapped with weekly supply zone, both together overlapped with monthly supply zone. But monthly trend is sideways. Sideways trend, monthly EMA confluence does not give any advantage. So this is bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next, let us look into weekly income trade reports. Weekly income trade entry time frame is 75 minutes, entry zone, demand zone, bullish, bearish, sideways trade setup at 75 minutes, selecting sideways long, zone achievement violated, opposing zone, minimum odd and enhancer score 11 for sideways, 75 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means zone pierced count is 0. Pierced count 0 means zone is not pierced. Which zone? 75 minutes demand zone, because filters will be applied on this demand zone, whatever we select here. So 5 stocks are filtered. In all the 5 stocks are supporting sideways long trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 75 minutes demand zones. And you can plan the trades on these 5 zones only if less than 30.3 video checklist items are satisfied, sideways checklist items. Otherwise, higher chances of zone violation. Okay, next, sideways short trade setup for weekly income trade, 75 minute supply zone and sideways short. Let's filter. We got 3 stocks. Sideways short trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame zones are 75 minute supply zones. And you can plan trades only if 75 minute supply zones are satisfying less than 30.3 sideways checklist items. Less than 30.3 sideways checklist items are satisfied. Next, bullish trade setup for Weekly income trade, entry time frame 75 minutes demand zone, and here bullish and minimum odd enhance score 12. Let's filter. We got 17 stocks supporting sideways, bullish trade setup for weekly income trade, bullish trade setup. Entry time frame zones are 75 minutes demand zones. So total we got 17 stocks. Out of these 17 75 minutes demand zones, how many are having more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on different zone confluence and EMA confluence strategies that we learned in lesson 27. So first one, LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is 75 minutes and daily demand zone confluence. Applying the filter on those 17 stocks, we got 12 stocks. In all the 12 stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones are overlapped with daily demand zone. And daily trend is, ITF trend is daily, that is uptrend in all the stocks. So we can further filter based on daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence, because 75 minutes demand zone is overlapped with daily demand zone. So I'm going back, setting EMA filter at daily time frame with daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence, because daily trend is uptrend. So we got 5 stocks. So in all the 5 stocks, these daily demand zones are overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. These 75 minutes demand zones are overlapped with daily demand zones, and the daily demand zones are having daily EMA confluence. That's why these are the most high probability trade setup 75 minutes demand zones. But they should satisfy lesson 20 checklist items. Otherwise, there are higher chances of these demand zone violation. Okay, next high probability trade setup is based on LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence and HTF EMA confluence. So let's filter based on those rules. So first I am removing ITF EMA filter, demand zone confluence, 3 filters I have to set. First filter is already enabled, 75 and daily. Next 75 and weekly, and daily and weekly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 4 stocks. In all the 4 stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones overlapped with daily demand zone, both together again overlapped with weekly demand zone. And weekly trend is uptrend in only 1 stock. Let's verify if this weekly demand zone having any weekly EMA confluence. In that case, the overlapped 75 minutes demand zone might be having more high probability to get success. EMA confluence at weekly time frame and checking weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. At the same time, trend on the weekly should not be sideways. It should be uptrend, because it is bullish trade setup. So it is filtered. So that way this 75 minutes demand zone might be having more high probability to get success, provide lesson 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise there are higher chances of zone violation. Okay, good. Next, this is bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for weekly income trade, entry time frame 75 minutes, entry zone, supply zones, bullish or bearish at 75 minutes. I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhance score 12, and 75 minutes supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, 75 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. So with these filters, we got 10 stocks. All these 10 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 75 minute supply zones. So total we got 10 75 minute supply zones. Out of these 10 stocks, how many are having more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on different zone confluence and EMA confluence strategies that we learned in lesson 27. So first filter is ITF and LTF supply zone confluence. That is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. So I am enabling the filter. Applying the filter, we got 7 stocks. In all 7 stocks, 75-minute supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zone. All these 75-minute supply zones. Because they are 75 is overlapped with daily supply zone and the daily trend is a downtrend. ITF trend is downtrend in all the stocks. So we can further filter based on 75-minute supply zone having daily EMA, 75 is overlapped with daily. So daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence. The EMA confluence at daily time frame, I am checking daily supply zone with daily EMA. Let's filter. We got 5 stocks. So these 5 75-minute supply zones might be having more high probability to get success, provide less than 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, there are higher chances of zone violation. Okay, next strategy is LTF, ITF and even HTF supply zone confluence. After that, HTF EMA confluence. Going back, removing ITF EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters I have to set. First filter is 75 and daily already enabled. Next 75 and weekly. And daily and weekly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 3 stocks. In these 3 stocks, these 75-minute supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zone. Both together again overlapped with weekly supply zone. And weekly trend is down in only 1 stock. Let's verify if this weekly supply zone having any weekly EMA confluence. At the same time, trend on the weekly should not be sideways. It should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. Oh, that 1 stock is filtered. That way, this 75-minute supply zone might be having more high probability to get success, provide less than 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, there are higher chances of zone violation. So this is a bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, I will generate daily income trade reports. Entry time frame 15 minutes, entry zone, demand zone, bullish or bearish or sideways trade setup at entry time frame 15 minutes. I am selecting sideways long and zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhance score 11 for sideways and also 15 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter at 15 minutes time frame, setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With these filters, we got 3 stocks supporting sideways long trade setup for daily income trade. And entry time frame zones are 15 minutes demand zones. And you should use these 15 minutes demand zone only if the lesson 30.3 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, higher chances of zone violation. Okay, next, sideways short trade setup for daily income trade, entry time frame zone, 15 minute supply zone, and also here sideways short trade setup. Let's filter. We got 5 stocks supporting sideways short trade setup for daily income trade, and entry time frame zones are 15 minute supply zones. So total we got 5 stocks. Out of these 5, some of them already gave some good number of tests maybe from the previous reports. But can we use them further? Yes, we can if lesson 30.3 video checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, there are higher chances of this zone violation. So that's why you should apply checklist in all the 5 zones. Okay, next bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame zone 15 minutes demand zone. Here bullish or bearish, I am selecting bullish, and the minimum odd and enhanced score should be 12. Let's filter. We got 13 stocks are filtered that are supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade, and the entry time frame zones are 15 minutes demand zones. So like that we got total 13 stocks. Out of these 13, how many are having more high probability to get success? Based on different zone confluence and EMA confluence strategies that we learned in lesson 27, let us apply the concepts. First strategy, LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. After that, ITF EMA confluence. So I am going back in the demand zone confluence. I am enabling the filter 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. By applying the filter on the 13 stocks, we got 11 stocks. In all the 11 stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. That means 15 minutes demand zone is part of the 75 minutes demand zone. And 75 minutes trend, ITF trend, is uptrend in all the stocks. So let's further filter based on EMA confluence at 75 minutes demand zone. So I'm selecting 75 minutes demand zone with the daily EMA confluence. We got 2 stocks. So these 2 daily demand zones might be having more high probability to get success, provide lesson 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, there are higher chances of zone violation. Okay, next setup is LTF, ITF and even HTF demand zone confluence. After that, HTF EMA confluence. Removing ITF EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, 3 filters I am selecting. The first one is already enabled, 15 minutes and 75 minutes. Next 15 minutes and daily, and 75 minutes and daily demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 6 stocks. In all the 6 stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. Both together again overlapped with daily demand zone. And daily trend is uptrend in 3 stocks. Let's verify in these 3, any stocks daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence. Daily demand zone with daily EMA. At the same time, trend on the daily should not be sideways. It should be uptrend because it is bullish trade setup. So none of them are having daily EMA confluence. Let us check what we selected EMA confluence. So daily demand zone with daily EMA is not available. Okay, fine. Next we will look into bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame 15 minutes. Supply zone is entry zone, supply zone. And bullish or bearish at 15 minutes. I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated, opposing zone. Minimum odd and enhanced score 12. And also 15 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0 and maximum value 0. So with these filters, we got 9 stocks supporting bearish trade setup for daily income trade. And entry time frame zones are 15 minute supply zones. 15 minute supply zones. So total 9 stocks we got. Out of these 9, how many are having more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on different zone confluence and EMA confluence strategies that you learned in lesson 27. So the first filter is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. that is 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. By applying the filter, we got 5 stocks. In these 5 stocks, all these 15 minute supply zones are overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. And 75 minutes trend, ITF trend, is a downtrend in all the stocks. Let's further filter based on the EMA confluence at 75 minute supply zone. The 75 minute supply zone with daily EMA, we got 3 stocks. So these 3 15 minute supply zones might be having more high probability to get success, provided lesson 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, there are higher chances of zone violation. Okay, next let us look into LTF, ITF and even HTF supply zone confluence supported stocks. Removing ITF EMA filter, supply zone confluence 3 filters we have to set. First one is already enabled, 15 minutes and 75 minutes. Next 15 minutes and daily and 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we don't have any stocks. So this is about bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Next, I will generate finding the stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames, and also weekly and above time frames price closed inside the demand and supply zones along with the EMA confluence with respect to the time frames. So starting with the yearly, price closed inside the yearly demand zone, we got 3 stocks. Next, price closed inside the yearly supply zone, we don't have any stocks. Next time frame, half yearly, price closed inside the half yearly demand zone, we got 6 stocks. Next, price closed inside the half yearly supply zone, we got 3 stocks. Next time frame is quarterly, stocks near to the quarterly demand zone, we got 2 stocks. Next, stocks near to the quarterly supply zone, no stocks. Next, price closed inside the quarterly demand zone, we got 23 stocks, first 22 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down, so total 23. Let's further filter this list based on quarterly demand zone having quarterly EMA confluence. And also trend on the quarterly should not be sideways, it can be up or down. So we got 13 stocks. Okay, next, price closed inside the quarterly supply zone, we got 12 stocks. Let's further filter based on quarterly supply zone having quarterly EMA confluence. And also trend on the quarterly should not be sideways. We got 3 stocks. Next time frame is monthly. Stocks near to the monthly demand zone, we got 6 stocks. Next, stocks near to the monthly supply zone, we got 4 stocks. Next, price closed inside the monthly demand zone, first 18 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down, total 31 stocks are filtered. We can further filter based on monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence. And also trend on the monthly should not be sideways. So we got 15 stocks. Next, price closed inside the monthly supply zone. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down, total 24 stocks are filtered. We can further filter based on monthly supply zone having monthly EMA confluence. And also trend on the monthly should not be sideways. We got 7 stocks. Next time frame is weekly. Stocks near to the weekly demand zone. We got 8 stocks. Next, stocks near to the weekly supply zone. We got 9 stocks. Next, price closed inside the weekly demand zone. First 16 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 36 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. And also trend on the weekly should not be sideways. So we got a reduced list. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 23 stocks are filtered. Next, weekly price closed inside the weekly supply zone. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 47 stocks are filtered. We can further filter based on weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. And also trend on the weekly should not be sideways. Now list is reduced. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. Total 17 stocks are filtered. So next time frame daily already generated in the beginning of the report. So the next time frame is 125 minutes. Stocks near to the 125 minutes demand zone. We got 10 stocks. Okay, next stocks near to the 125 minutes supply zone. We got 13 stocks. Okay, next time frame 75 minutes already generated. So next time frame 25 minutes, stocks near 25 minutes demand zone. We got 5 stocks. Next, stocks near to the 25 minute supply zone. We got 4 stocks. Next time frame is 15 minutes. Stocks near to the 15 minutes demand zone. We got 9 stocks. Next, stocks near to the 15 minute supply zone. We got 5 stocks. Next time frame is 5 minutes. Stocks near to the 5 minutes demand zone. We got 9 stocks. Next, stocks near to the 5 minute supply zone. We got 8 stocks. So these are the stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames. So in the final report, let us generate stop buffers based on daily ATR. First 17 in this list are indices, remaining all are equity stocks. So I'm scrolling the list down, whichever the stock you want to refer, there pause the video. After your study, you can proceed further. Okay, I'm scrolling this list down. So this is the end of the report. Hope this information will be useful to you for your further study and analysis. Let us all meet again in our next video. Thank you.